Hello, fam. It's your girl, Natalie, the Keto Bikini Pro, and I am here with another success story to share with you today. I have Celeste here with me, and she just graduated from my Keto Bikini Body program. I call it a program, but really it's just coaching. It's just me and you and tailoring everything individually to the person. So we'll talk a little bit today about Celeste's journey and how her journey might be a little different than others. And I'm sure a lot of this will resonate with some of you. So without further ado, Celeste, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. And share with us first just a little bit about who Celeste is as a person.
Oh, where do I even start? I don't know. Let's see, I'm Canadian. I've been in America since like 2006. I'm a graphic designer, 16 years. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I have chickens and a cat. I uh I weightlift for fun and yeah,
And you're a
that's
West
about it.
Coast girl.
And what?
And you're a West Coast girl.
Oh yeah, I'm in California, NorCal.
Yes. Love, love. Awesome. And you're a very strong woman. Um, Tell us, I guess this is a good lead in to telling us a little bit about your health and fitness journey up until before you and I started working together and kind of what pushed you into going for the private one-on-one coaching.
So I went keto in 2016. What prompted me to go keto? I had done a bunch of things. I was vegan for 2 years. I was vegetarian for 5 years. I
Wow.
was paleo for a long time. So I had tried like lots of different ways of eating, but it was all centered around eating whole foods basically, but I tried different variations to see what would work best for my body. Um, and in 2016, I was trying to get pregnant. And for 2 years, my husband and I tried unsuccessfully. And the doctors were wanting to prescribe Clomid to me, which I was on the cusp of doing, but I wanted to try a couple more things without taking drugs not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just wanted to try and see if I could get my body to do it naturally. And I was reading the books about all taking your temperature and measuring things and seeing where you are in your cycle and stuff. And anyways, so I started keto, and within 4 months, I was pregnant after 2 years of trying. So
Yeah, baby.
yeah, not only that, I lost like 20 or 30 pounds and I was enjoying the food, and it just really resonated with me. I found out later that I was actually pre-diabetic at that time, if not
Wow.
actually diabetic. My dad and brother both had type 2 diabetes, which I didn't know because I wasn't close with them. And I didn't know that type 2 diabetes can actually be genetic. You can have a genetic mutation that makes you more predisposed to it. So even though I didn't eat like really bad. I mean, I ate standard American diet, which, yes, now we know it's not the greatest, but I was eating, I would say, on the better side of that. Like, I never ate a lot of bread or pasta or anything like that. I was mostly eating whole foods and things like that. But now I know that things, even if I ate like a huge bowl of fruit, something like that would affect me. Or if I ate a huge bowl of popcorn, which is something at the time that I considered a healthy snack, that would affect me. So I think I got really quick and good results from eating keto because of some of those things. And I also found out I was hypothyroid at the time, and I started taking medication for that as well. So that played into it as well. So yeah, I was keto for like 7 years before you came into my life. And I started training in 2021. I had put on a bunch of weight after my thyroid had gotten out of control because I had tried to wean myself off my medication at one point on my own, and I got really sick from that. I should not have done that. And so I had gained a lot of weight. I was feeling really bad, and I just was really sedentary, and it was like the beginning of COVID, and I wanted to do something. And so I was inspired to start weightlifting. I had wanted to do it for a while, and I was following several women on social media who were inspiring me. And I would always watch them and think, wow, that's so cool. I want to do that. I want to get strong. And I really wanted to focus on the strength aspect as opposed to the weight loss aspect, because I was trying to, even though I knew that I wasn't feeling good or healthy, I was trying not to focus on like the physical aspect of things and more on feeling good and getting strong, because for me, that can spin into a big, deep, dark hole, the whole like trying to get skinnier thing, which I've done a lot in my life. I've dieted a lot in my life for that purpose. And now as a woman in her 40s and a mom, like I just don't want that to be my focus anymore. So I started weight training and I fell in love with it pretty much immediately. And I started training 4 days a week ever since.
And you got really into the strength and powerlifting side of lifting, right? You didn't just decide you're going to go to a weight, not even a weightlifting class, but like you didn't decide you're going to go to do some group fitness or something, right? Most women, I think, when they think about going to the gym or they think about exercising, right? The first things they're thinking of are joining a group fitness class or going to a Pilates class or yoga or aerobics. But you went in, you were like, I love the content. I love the fact that I didn't have to convince you to let go of weight loss as the goal, because that wasn't your goal. You were like, I want to feel strong. I want to be strong. I want to be a good role model for my daughter. And so I love where your mindset was at with that. So yeah, tell me a little bit about that. You dove in and you just started lifting weights, like seriously lifting weights.
So it was during the pandemic, and at the time, the gym was actually closed. You couldn't go to the gym. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could do weightlifting specifically because I knew that that was what I wanted to do. And here's a little free plug for Tempo. I found out about Tempo, which is this device that you can put in your house, and it takes up very little square footage because it's got the barbell hooks onto the back of the machine, and then the weight plates go inside the front of the machine. So it's like a 4x4 square, and it looks like a giant iPhone, like 6 feet tall. And you turn it on, and there's programs like for whatever you want. They have heavy lifting programs, they have HIIT, they have yoga. You just turn it on and they format a program for you. And so that's how I started lifting. I told my husband I want this thing. It was expensive. It was like, I don't know, $2,500 or something like that.
Wow.
And he knew I really needed to do something. He was like, if you walk every day for 1 month and you get in the habit, he's like, I'll buy it for you. So I was like, no problem. So I started walking every day and I was like, I did it. He bought me the Tempo, and then I just like started training. But I they have form correction on the Tempo. It has this technology that's supposed to like tell you when you're not squatting to depth or when your elbows are higher than your wrists and stuff, that you do get some, but it's pretty limited. So as I started lifting, I was like, okay, I don't know that I'm really doing this correctly, even though I'm doing it. So I was looking for a trainer in my area that I could work with every so often one-on-one. And I found this girl, Nicole DeRosa in Benicia, and she had a garage gym and she's a power lifter. So I ended up starting to train with Nicole, and she really introduced me to powerlifting. And so she was helping me with my form, and she was training me in the way. She's certified with Westside Barbell, which are the original like powerlifting gym. And so she showed me a bunch of stuff, and I trained with her for a while. And after I trained with her for a while, I was like, okay, this is my jam. Because with Tempo, you have to train to like a timer. So even if you're doing like heavy lifting programs, it's still almost on the HIIT side of things because they don't give you a long rest and you have to complete a certain amount of reps in a certain period of time. And I was like, really not liking that aspect of it. And I was really liking what I was doing in the garage with Nicole. So I said, okay, we started building a tent. We built a huge tent, a carport in our backyard, and we started building a gym. I got like a rusty old rack off Facebook Marketplace. I got rusty old barbell. I started getting plates where I could off Marketplace and slowly started building the gym. And then I started off with 5x5. I was doing strong lift 5x5 for a little while, but then I found Lindsay Gray on Train Heroic, and she has powerlifting programming, and it's only $15 a month. So you really can't beat that. So I started doing her powerlifting programming, and I just loved it, and I've done it ever since. So
Awesome. And now you got a pretty badass home gym over there. I mean, you got everything you need, and you keep finding new ways to use what you have too. I've seen some cool stuff. Um, Definitely will plug your social medias because you share a lot with your journey, and I think it's a great thing for people to see, to be inspired along their way. So, okay, so you're already a powerlifting chick. You're loving it. Um, how did you find me, first of all? Because I don't remember this story. And then what was it how did we start working together? I'll let you tell that story.
I've thought about this. How did I find you? I have no idea. How did I find you? I don't know. Somehow, like, I don't know because I haven't really been active in the keto community. I may have been when I started eating keto like 7 years ago, but I just went off and did my own thing and I wasn't really involved in any of that. I just did my own thing. So I wasn't in any groups or maybe I found you in the ketogenic bodybuilding group. I don't know.
Maybe, yes, it could have
That
been.
that one I joined because I specifically wanted to see other people who were trying to put on muscle mass who were eating a ketogenic diet. So somehow I found you through that. And then I joined your group and I really liked everything you had to say. I feel like you're like a natural teacher, that you're very intelligent, that you know so much about, you know, fitness and body recomposition and diet and all of that. And it's not just like, I've been doing this a long time. You hear a lot of regurgitated stuff. You hear a lot of stuff that's like this way or that way. If this person says high fat, that person says high protein. And it's just like I think that's why I was so done with like being in any of the keto groups or anything like that. But I really liked that your focus was on the mindset side of things, and that what you are doing works, obviously, because if you anybody in your groups who's worked with you says Natalie's amazing, like da da da, she's so great, like
I love
everyone
knowing
who's worked with you knows that you know your shiz, like you know what you're doing.
I'm not going to let you not get results.
Yeah,
That's what I always
exactly.
that's what I always say whenever someone, you start working with a coach, and I think everybody's biggest fear is like, what if I put 6 months into this and all this investment and time, and then I don't get the results that I want? That's always the biggest, hesitation. And so I always say, don't worry if things aren't moving. I'm not going to just say, well, keep trusting the process and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing because this is a protocol that you're following, right? That's, I suppose, the difference between private coaching and joining a program.
Right.
There's a lot of programs you can join out there, but it's a program. You're just going to follow this program and it may or may not work for you. Coaching and what coaching should be, or private coaching in particular, it's custom, it's built for you. And if you're not getting results, you talk to your coach. You should be comfortable enough with your coach to talk to your coach, and then your coach can change things and get things moving. So for people who are ready to do the work, 100% of my ladies who do the work get the results. And
Yeah.
so that brings us to how we did start working together. I offered a scholarship.
Yeah. So just to go back a little bit,
Sure.
I just want to say that I felt like I knew everything there was to know about keto. Before I got into weightlifting, I considered myself an expert in it because I had been doing it for so long and I had read so much about it and I just acquired so much information. But when it came to like building muscle on keto, I didn't know anything. And I didn't know anything about really gaining muscle, period. So for the first year that I was training, I just ate like 1,600 calories a day for an entire year. And I'm, 5'7". I'm not like a small little lady. That's like pretty low calories for me and for an entire year. And I had, now I know I downregulated my metabolism. And so I was looking for a way to maximize my progress in what I was doing. I wanted to put on muscle. And so when you offered the free coaching or the coaching scholarship, I was like, okay, let's just go ahead and apply because this lady knows what she's talking about. And maybe by talking with her, then I can learn something more about how I can maximize this process that I'm going through of trying to put on muscle. And my goal when I started lifting at 41 was to have my ideal body by 45. So it still is. I'm 43 now. So I think I'm about halfway to where I would expect to be. So 4 years, it's a good goal.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, and you're making great progress toward it for sure.
so yeah, you offered the VIP coaching scholarship and I just applied and then for some reason you selected me and that's how I started working with you.
Yes, and I'll tell you, that was maybe the second or third time I'd offered that scholarship. It's the last time I have, and this was last November, and so we've worked together now for 6 months. And I was in a space, I make a different decision every time, and it might be swayed by a different thing that I read in the applications each time. And I really wanted to work with someone who I knew was going to see it all the way through and was fully committed. And you'd already shown up in the group, you'd already started sharing in the group and asking questions and, you know, participating there. So you were showing up fully. And I already had that sense of like, if I work with her, she's going to give this everything she has. And you absolutely have totally crushed it. Trusted me on some things that were challenging for you and are in a really cool place in so many more ways than one. So um, let's dive into some of that, some of the biggest wins for you along the last half a year.
The biggest win has been definitely like the mindset side of things. And just like at the very beginning of working with you, you had me do the why exercise of what was the purpose of this. And I really just started questioning everything in my life. And I kind of realized that the main thing that was that I was so dedicated to like nutrition and training, and I was really happy with all of that and the direction I was going with that. And I came to the realization that one aspect that I wasn't happy with was my career. And I just felt like I was sort of like chugging along, working, for my boss's clients who were just mainly in real estate and things that didn't really interest me. And I came to the realization that I needed to step it up and start doing things that I had more passion for in my career. So that was the first like major aha moment. And ever since then, I've been working towards that goal of just working for myself and finding clients that interest me and make me spark that passion in what I'm doing. And 100% has worked. And I now quit my job and I'm working 100% freelance for myself. And so if anybody needs graphic design, branding and websites.
Holler at her. She's awesome. She did some work for Bronson and I on some of our new projects, and it is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely amazing. Who knew that a whole new career and like stepping into your own entrepreneurship was on the other end of this thing?
I know it's so random, but so that was awesome. I mean, it's not random because the mindset thing applies to everything in your life. And I loved that. And then I joined your Grace and Grind group on top of our one-on-one coaching. And I really liked that for the emphasis on like self-care and because it's hard, when you're working and you're a mom and just you're doing the day-to-day stuff, a lot of times you don't think about the fact that you're not like taking time for yourself. So I think I got a lot out of that, although I might need to revisit that because I think it's fallen sort of to the side again with everything that I've been doing. And then the whole fat loss thing, there's that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I lost, and now I
So
think I'm up to like 17 and a half pounds or something because I keep losing. I'm like, I don't know.
you started the reverse, and then yeah, you kept okay. And I definitely want to talk about that because there were some big things you did there. Um, and I know you had some reservations about going into a deficit.
Yes. Yeah, so I was cautious about going into a deficit, A, because of mindset, and I didn't want to fall into that whole like, I have to keep losing, like, because I felt like I was in a good place mentally with the whole focus of building strength.
Mhm.
So that was one. B, I didn't want to lose strength because it makes me feel good to lift heavy. And C, oh, my mind just blanked. But anyways, I was just kind of reserved. Oh yeah, C was that I didn't want to mess with my hormones because I'm 43 years old and it's a sensitive spot to be in already, and I've had hormonal issues in the past, and I just, if they always say like if you're in deficit too long, it does affect your hormones and stuff. So those were my reservations about going into deficit, and I had to weigh like, putting my trust in you versus those things. And I just sort of told myself it'll be fine. It's only for a short period of time. And like, let's see what happens. And it was all good. I
And,
never lost strength. And I really thought I was still hitting PRs at the very bottom of my calorie deficit. So that was awesome.
and we kept your calories and your fat in a really great place. I think, did we even get under 100 grams of fat?
95.
Yeah. So probably of all my clients, yours never even got like usually I start a little bit over 100 and then we'll start going under. And I try not to get anybody under 70 if I can help it. Some people have to go lower to get the result. But we did some great things together and didn't have to do anything drastic. So, talk a little bit about where you were at with your weight and with your body fat percentage and how you saw those things change.
So when I started with you, I was around 164 pounds. Um, I had already lost some weight, like around 10 pounds from when I started training, and then I had gained 15 pounds of muscle. Or 15 pounds of lean mass, I should say, not 15
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah, right.
Um, so I had done a little bit of recomping already, but I was still 34% body fat when we started, down from what I think was probably like 40% before I started weightlifting. Yeah. And
I really need to lift weights.
yes, definitely for so many reasons. And then, oh, okay, so I started at 164 pounds and 34% body fat, and now I'm 150 pounds, and in body has me at 26-ish percent on the in body scale.
Which is also more recomp. So, I mean, people may hear, okay, that's only 14 pounds only, right? Because we always hear, and I'm sure one of the reasons you're not hanging out in keto groups anymore, it's all about the weight loss, and everybody's freaking out about the weight loss, and they want to see like massive amounts of weight loss every week. Um, and we see that at the beginning when we go keto and we drop out all these carbs. So it feels really exciting because you get this weight loss, this water weight loss, and then it starts to slow, and then people are chasing after these big drops. But in reality, 14 pounds of loss on the scale actually was the equivalent of more muscle gained and fat loss, so that now we went from being in an obese range to a healthy, fit level of body fat percentage.
Yep. And
Ah,
it equated to like, I don't know, 17 pounds of actual body fat or something like that. Yeah.
right, exactly, exactly. So sometimes it illustrates that the scale is an important metric, but it's not the only metric when you know what else to look for. And so we did take a really close approach at all of your biofeedback the whole time we worked together. How are you feeling? All the things that could signify that there are hormonal imbalances. You even got sick at the end of it and still made progress.
And even though we were together for 6 months, that was only really 4 months period of time because I was still in a build for the first couple of months that
Right.
you were coaching me. So I wasn't ready to start cutting until January. So that happened in like a 4-month time period. And yeah, I got COVID at the end and that made everything go haywire, but it's all right. Came out
Still in a
on the other
fantastic
side.
way. That's great. I think that was one of the bigger mindset lessons too of you got to chill out sometimes and let your body heal. That's probably the I think that was probably one of the harder things for you in this whole process.
Yes, I don't like not training. As soon as if I miss like one training session, I feel like I'm gonna lose all my gains over the past 2.5 years. It's just like a weird mental thing that I have, but it also keeps me going. So like I'm not super mad about it, but sometimes I do need to chill a little bit.
Yeah, we need the grace with the grind.
Yeah.
So let's see. I would love to also hear a little bit about your reverse. So we only reversed together for a few weeks before we were finished, but you've continued since then. And there was a couple of sides of that I think are really important to point out. You faced a challenge that you were not ready to face almost the entire time we were together, which was letting go of dairy. I would love to hear about your results and what happened. Well, what prompted you to say, you know what, I want to try this? And then you got some really big, quick indications that dairy was not a friend to your body.
Yeah, I've always known that because I used to have reactions to it. If I would drink heavy cream in my coffee, my ears would instantly get blocked. I would get a stuffy nose and stuff. So I knew I was sensitive to it, but I kind of thought that I trained my body to get used to it because I had so much of it. But I decided to quit the dairy in the reverse just because I had been thinking about it for a while and I knew that it would help the reverse go a little more in my favor of not like gaining back, So, and for my mental well-being, I thought it would be a good time to do that. So I was like, oh well, I'll just do it. So I bit the bullet and I gave up the dairy. And within the first week, I think I lost like 3 pounds and an inch and a half off my lower belly, which is a problem spot for me being a mom and everything. Um, yeah, so it was immediately, I mean, what I lost was definitely inflammation because I could see it in my face and I saw it on the scale and there was no reason for me to like be dropping because I was increasing my calories at that time and
Yep.
I still am. And now I'm still only like 200 calories up from my lowest deficit, but because I'm increasing gradually, but I'm still losing body fat on the scale, like not as at such a rapid rate as when we were like, decreasing my calories, but that's pretty crazy to me. And I haven't gained any weight. I'm at what was my lowest weight with you, which is 150 pounds. So it's like I'm just staying there. So that's
That's
cool.
how you know you're doing it right. That gradual increase while still lifting and training and doing things with the right intensity because you're teaching your body build muscle, burn body fat. I really think that the grand majority of people could stand to live in a slight deficit. We have just become conditioned to believe that we need to be full and really stuffed all the time. And the fact is, we don't have to live that way. If we actually embraced a slight deficit, it would be the ideal way to live, and your body
Yeah,
would.
I mean, as long as I keep putting on muscle mass, I'll be happy. I have a DEXA next week, so I'm curious because my in-body does have my lean mass going, my skeletal muscle mass rather going up. So, but I don't really trust in-body on that measurement. So I'm curious to see next week what my DEXA scan says. Because if I'm already putting on lean mass at this low caloric increase, then that is a good indication that I don't need to go like back up to 2100 calories, which is where I was before. So
Yep.
we'll see. I don't want to go too low either because my goal is to put on muscle. So I'm just going to go slowly and keep looking at all the metrics and see if I can find that sweet spot.
Yes, and it's really truly it is a measure of this consistency you've had now with training since 2021 now. So the longer you do it, the more optimized your body is, so that it will be more and more difficult for your body to actually store fat. Not necessarily difficult, but it's just not going to do it as it won't have that tendency to store fat as it did when you were sedentary. So just the longer and longer you remain consistent, that's what the true benefit that you're experiencing now is having done that for as long as you did and not being in a deficit as long as you were not, right? You did the important thing that so many women skip, and that's taking time off of dieting. And
Mhm.
because you did it that way, your body did respond well to the way to how gradually we were able to do this. Had you not done that, had you been yo-yo dieting continuously, and then we started working together, it would have been harder, and we would have had to be more drastic to get to where you are now. So I applaud you for all your own research and the things that you've done, and really not just the research, right? So many people are out there researching, but are you receiving the information that you're getting, internalizing it, and then letting that make you question things and not stay stuck in habits that you may have, right? Dairy is delicious, right? Who wants to let go of that? Um, but when you can say, okay, you know what? Now I'm not in a deficit anymore. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on food, and I'm missing out, and now I'm going to be missing out on dairy too. Like, you did all that in a really smart way as well. It was like, okay, now that I'm bringing my calories back up, I get more fat, but I'm going to try letting go of this other thing. And one more thing before we finish that I think is would be valuable to share is that you had some movement imbalances and some injuries, some old injuries that were kind of holding you back in your lifting. And you've had to do what is another really difficult thing for people, which is take that ego aside and say, hey, you know what? I need to change some things I'm doing. I need to work on mobility. I need to work on healing this injury. And that means I have to put down the heavy weights for a little bit, and focus on this. And that was difficult, and I'm sure still is. Talk a little bit about that process for you.
Well, I injured myself when I first started lifting before I even started seeing a trainer because I was, trying to learn how to lift heavy and doing it incorrectly. When I look back at my old lifting videos now, it's super cringy. Like I can see what I'm doing is just awful. And I'm still like, don't have the best form, but I'm always trying to improve as I go. Um, so yeah, I injured myself. I don't actually know what the injury is because at the time I went to the doctor and they kind of gave me video physical therapy, which was useless. And then it started to feel better and I ignored it for 2 years. And
Everyone does, by the way. Every single person. Even if
it's
they
like,
go in person to a physical therapist, they get given the exercises. They don't do the exercises. So I think this is why I wanted you to share, because I know that there are many that can relate.
yeah, so what I think it is, what I can best guess that it is from the pain that I feel is high hamstring tendinopathy.
Mm.
Or proximal hamstring tendinopathy. It was like a small tear or something like right where the glute and the hamstring meet, right at the bottom of your glutes. And I get it when my hamstring's fully lengthened. So things that, so I stopped doing conventional deadlifts because of that, because those fully lengthen my hamstring and tend to irritate it. But it would also get irritated sometimes with squats because I squat to depth with powerlifting. You know, you don't do those high squats. You squat really low, not really low, not Olympic low, but anyways. Um, so I was still doing squats, but I stopped doing conventional deadlifts and switched to sumo. And when I did my PR for my last deadlift PR, it was 275 pounds. Um, I didn't hurt my back, although some people might think I did because I have a rounded back when I deadlift that I'm working on as well. But it actually hurt my hamstring, and Bronson said it would. And I was like, God damn it. Right. So I stopped doing squats and deadlifts, and I've been doing a lot of like banded work and just isometric work and trying to rehab that with really small loads and adding loads gradually. So I put 210s on the bar last week for squats, and it didn't it I was actually, you know what, my glutes were so sore after doing squats, after not doing them for a month. I was like, holy cow, I could barely sit, but my hamstring wasn't hurting. So I think I'm gonna keep just progressively adding some more load. I'm a little bit scared to do conventional deadlifts still, so I think I'm gonna keep those out for a while because those really lengthen my hamstring. And even RDLs, like I can control like where I feel the stretch. So
Mhm.
I'm doing those with adding load slowly, but I think I'm gonna go back to sumo lifting, gradual load for deadlifts. So yeah, I think it's improving though.
And the key takeaway here is that when you heal these things and you perfect your form, everything's going to be better. The lifting's going to feel better. Getting stronger will be easier. Uh, it feels like you're taking a step back because you have to take that weight down. But the fact is, you never really were pushing that weight because you were doing it in a way that could cause injury down the line. So now, when you're doing it with correct form, you're going to get such better results physically as well as the strength. You'll be able to improve on everything. So I can't wait to talk to you in a year and see where you're at then.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I would love it if I could actually get past 160 pounds on my squat because I haven't been able to add any weight because my knee, the injury caused a weakness on that leg and caused my knee to cave in on that side every time I would squat heavy. So hopefully, as I start to add load gradually, I can keep adding weight without that knee cave.
Heck yeah, I love it. Embrace the difficult, embrace the discomfort. Let's see. Okay. What advice would you give someone else who's just starting on maybe on the nutrition or the fitness or both?
Nutrition, I'll say the same thing that everybody else says. Keep it simple. Eat, prioritize, well, not everybody says this in keto. Prioritize protein, not fat, protein. So eat your fat for energy, but eat your protein and be consistent with exercise. That's the main thing. Find something you like doing and just stick to it. Make yourself a schedule, find a program. I love programs, or find a coach, or find a class, whatever it is, just do it. Do something, get out there and move and be consistent about it. And if you can do that for like 3 months, you'll get addicted to it and you'll be set for the rest of your life.
Ah, I love it. That's a beautiful way to sum that up. Um, let's see. What's next for you?
So I'm studying for my CPT, my personal trainer exam with NASM. So hopefully I will have that by the end of the summer. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm still thinking about that. I don't know if I want to train people locally or also, I might also do a nutrition coaching program and see if I want to do online coaching. I'm not sure. I really am leaning more towards doing in-person stuff because I already sit at the computer a lot. So I would like to have a nice balance of being out there doing stuff in addition to what I do on the computer. Um, yeah, there's a big demand for like mobile trainers in town, so I might try to figure out how I can do that and help people. I really want to teach women not to fear lifting weights and not to fear lifting heavy weights. And I want to teach older women that is my main goal, is for women over 40 to learn how to lift and lift heavy and learn the benefits of putting muscle mass on their body, not just for the physical aspect, but for health and long-term longevity and health.
I love that. This is the pay it forward. Each one teach one. Know better, do better for yourself, and now you can help other people get there. It's so beautiful. I'm so
Hopefully, that's the goal.
absolutely put it in the universe. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And your new marketing. So tell us where we can find you, your fitness content, but also your marketing stuff.
Okay, so I have so many Instagrams. I'm sorry. I have I started up the business called the Keto Marketing Co. And my main goal there is to help keto and carnivore businesses with branding and website design. So if you are a keto or carnivore business, you can find me there. It's at the Keto Marketing Co. On Instagram. And then for lifting content, my main account is dying dot to deadlift, I think. And that's basically like my training journal. Technically, I'm not a power lifter because I don't compete, and power lifters would get angry if I said that, but I do power building.
There we go. There we go.
Um, and then for all my other design stuff, I have at rising moon underscore creative. Yes. And that's where I do.
I'll put all this in the notes too. So y'all can find her on all of the socials.
Thank you.
And inside the Facebook group, Keto Bikini Secrets, come join us in there. It's
Yeah,
sisterhood.
definitely join that group because it's awesome and you get to see all of Natalie's master classes, which are super valuable. Even if you're not keto, I suggest you watch them because you could learn a lot about just health and body recomposition and things like that, and mindset.
Oh yeah, that's the big one. Awesome. Thank you again for sharing this time with me today, Celeste.
Thank you for everything. I love you, and I'm so happy with how everything has gone. And I continue to follow you for all your wisdom and advice.
Thanks again. Have a great week.
Bye. Thank you.